Yes, according to the calendar, Valentine's Day is only one day, but at WagerTalk, we plan to celebrate this Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It may sound corny to say we love our customers, but you are the reason we work so hard to set the customer service bar at a whole new level. So instead of handing out chocolates or flowers, how about all 30-day, all sports, all access packages discounted to only $214? That's 30 days of selections from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for under $50 per week. Valentine's Day is on 2/14, and to celebrate, on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all 30-day all-access passes will be dropped from $299 down to only $214. No coupon code is needed, and there is no limit on how many handicappers you can lock up for $214 between Super Bowl Sunday and when the clock strikes midnight on Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. I am Andrew McInnis, and you are watching Puck Time. I also have Carmine Bianco with me. Just the two of us on today's show, as we already thought Buster was on vacation just all the time, Carm. But I guess he's taking a separate vacation this week after hitting a huge golf winner on the weekend. So we don't have him with us today. We've got some great games to break down. How was your night last night, man? And what do you have up tonight for your clients?
Yeah, I could never understand how a guy who lives in a hot weather, beautiful beach right by the beach needs a vacation. Who needs a vacation from Mexico? Where do you go? Do you go to like um, I don't know where you go, to be honest with you, but he's on vacation. In Buster's defense, he booked his vacation thinking that the Olympic break would be on right
Yeah.
now in the NHL. We couldn't ask him to cancel his vacation. So wherever you are, Buster, enjoy your vacation. Last night was pretty good. I had 4% plays, all tied to the Minnesota game with Minnesota regulation time. Minnesota in a parlay with the Toronto Maple Leafs at plus 111, and then the Minnesota team total. So that 7-4 win by Minnesota made me a happy guy, and I think my clients as well, too. A full slate of games tonight, as you know, Andrew, and 4 pretty good games. I did not include the Islanders, so if you guys are wondering in that live chat about the Islander game, I did not include it. And just I'll call it at the beginning of the show, Carmine's mailbag, in addressing some of the comments we get on our videos when they're loaded later on YouTube. Somebody asked, why don't you guys do separate clips of your plays and your best bets? Well, we do. You can find them on Twitter. Follow Andrew and I on Twitter, and follow the WagerTalk account. They will tweet them out. We do our best bets. We do other plays that we've previewed on the show, and those clips are on. Other than that, you'll have to watch the complete show here on WagerTalk TV to get all of the plays. But we appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting all the time.
We definitely do. I love all the comments. I love all the live chat here in the YouTube chat room, on Twitch, on Twitter, everywhere. So congrats to you, Carm, on that night you had, and to Prez as well for cashing in on his 5% play. Last night was one of those nights, Carm, where I've said that I'm happy with being more of a low volume guy recently, but I wouldn't want to know. I had the Leafs team total over 3.5, and that went pretty well. But the best bet you had yesterday on the show, you absolutely nailed it. And with San Jose not playing for so many days, Edmonton played a great game. They looked pretty good under a new head coach. So I kind of regretted leaving that one off the board. But hey, you can't. I can't be mad about a 1-0 night on the ice. However, full transparency, it was a split night for me with the clients. I did lose. I kind of fell for the trap with the Sacramento Kings last night as the Brooklyn Nets kind of blow them out. So 1-1 night altogether for me. But hockey continues to roll, and we'll try and keep things going here. You can find both Carm and I at wagertalk.com. 4 games to break down today, starting with the first one here, Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh, a huge rivalry game between these two teams. That will never go away. We've got Pittsburgh minus 340 here, Philadelphia plus 270. Totals at 6 in this one. Carm, I'll go to you first in this one. I just want to say, I was on WagerTalk yesterday, and I decided to make one of the things I discussed was my Pittsburgh to win the East future because it was plus 800. And that number's slowly but surely gone down. We'll see how much more it goes down. But they're playing very consistent. They're getting healthier. And right now, Tristan Jarry, I know he didn't play well in the playoffs last year, but he kind of looks like a new goaltender here. It's hard to think they'll let up, but minus 340 is a pretty big price here, man.
Yeah, it is a big price, but this Pittsburgh team is playing extremely well, Andrew. I think in their last 20 games, they only have, I believe it's three losses in a regulation time, 6 losses total. They're 14-6 or 14-3-3. They're playing extremely well. And they're right up there in the East at 68 points. They are tied with Tampa in second, a point back of Florida, and they're leading their division, the Metropolitan, of course, as well too. I get it's a divisional game, and we always think these divisional games are a lot tighter. I think as far as these teams go, that's not the case. I think this one has. And likely will be a win by margin. I'm not going to say a complete blowout, but this isn't a very good Flyers team. They've mailed it in. Listen, they lost 13 in a row. They won a couple games, and then the losing streak has started again. 2 straight losses, and you look at their schedule, and it is just absolutely brutal for this team. They play Pittsburgh tonight, and they have Washington, Carolina, St. Louis, Edmonton, Minnesota before they face the Blackhawks, who might be the easiest game on their schedule. But Chicago, we saw last night what they did in Winnipeg. And then they have Vegas, Florida, and Carolina. This is an absolutely brutal schedule for this Flyers team who aren't playing well. It's just it just doesn't bode well for them. Can they surprise some of these teams? Sure, on any given day, a team can win, but it's just the season's over for Philadelphia. They're still going to compete. They're still professionals, but at the end of the day, you just have to go with the better team. You take Pittsburgh if you want it. As I mentioned yesterday with Minnesota, the price is too high. You can tie them into another team and take an even money parlay out there, or you just take Pittsburgh, lay the puck in a half here, and just hope that, or look forward to a multi-goal win. I just can't make a case for Philadelphia at all here. Division rival, yes, but they were division rivals the last time they met, and it was a blowout win for this Pittsburgh team. So I think Hart could be in for a long night today in Pittsburgh.
It feels like it's kind of a broken record with us talking about the amount of goals Philadelphia has allowed in. I think since I've been doing Puck Time shows with you, since we first met, I think, Carm, this Philadelphia team has struggled to keep the puck out of their own end. There has been some bright spots for them, when they were in the playoffs. I remember against the Montreal Canadiens, every single game finished like 2-1. That was good for them. Like, they had some spots where they were, Carter Hart playing well. They had a good defensive core, but their team just allows goals. When you allow a span of 10 goals to the Detroit Red Wings in 2 games, that is a problem. Philadelphia, we have a problem if you're allowing 10 goals in 2 games. It's just something that cannot happen against the Detroit Red Wings. They're giving up goals against everybody. The Buffalo Sabres are scoring six goals on you. So a great point that made by you is that, hey, it's a rivalry game. And, I was kind of just trying to segue in with it a little bit and lead in with that. But, yeah, a rivalry game does not always mean these guys are going to get up for it. Or they're going to get up for it. They just might not be able to do anything about it. The team total here, I'm looking at DraftKings right now, Carm. Team total was like minus 150, 155. For over 3.5 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So to your point there, I mean, the money line parlay seems to be the best option here, but even, regulation parlay, because even the money line is so high there, I'd probably be comfortable playing that. Honestly, the team total, I wouldn't even mind the juice, I don't think. But I mentioned it yesterday. I got to pat myself on the back for a second. The Mitch Marner shots on goal and goal scoring, he continues to shine. And Jake Gensel, he's the guy for Pittsburgh that I've been riding as well, guys, here. Jake Gensel, over 3.5 shots on goal. Lock that in tonight, minus 110. He's off a game with 1 shot, I believe. Or excuse me, 3 shots, actually. And then we saw 6 before that. We saw 5, 6, 5, 4. This guy's shooting. And in a game like this, one thing I love about the Penguins, they do not take their feet off the gas pedal. That's what I like about them. And they're also a good defensive team. So he's my guy tonight, Carm, for the prop market here. We'll look at Jake Gensel again.
Yeah, and I like it, Andrew, because and when you talk about like the team totals, I always think that there are some good spots to take those team totals. I thought the Minnesota one was a good one. It was I want to say minimal juice, but for a team total, it was minimal juice. When I played it, it was at minus 130, 135. There's a big, you look at it and you think, well, if the minus, or if the 3.5 team total is minus 150, minus 155, why not take the 4.5? There is a big difference between taking a team total 3.5 and a team total 4.5. Trust me, that full goal makes a huge difference, and I wouldn't take the plus money to get an extra goal, because you'll normally see 3 to 4 goals in these games for teams. It's very rare that a team puts up 5, 6, or 7 goals in an NHL game, even though you will see it in the score lines. Long term, I think taking the over 4.5s for team totals is a losing proposition. But hopefully, I can back that up later in the week with some numbers for you and some stats. But Andrew, kudos on the shots on goal props. They are making you money.
We'll try and do it again tonight. And again, to your point there about the prices, when you look at a minus 300 money line, and then you can give me a minus 150 on the team total, it doesn't look so bad when you compare those two numbers. Like you said, I mean, looking at a team total, trying to get to 4 goals versus taking a team on the money line. You and I are often on the same page as far as bankroll management and that stuff. And I agree with that. I mean, I don't think anybody should be stepping up and laying minus 3 something on the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, no matter how much we like them. But our next game is a real interesting one, because we got the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers going head-to-head here at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers are minus 150, Bruins plus 130. This Rangers team has not played a game since February 1st. However, in that game, hey, they did come out on top. They won 5-2 against the Florida Panthers. But this Boston Bruins team, they were on my sell list yesterday. If you guys tuned into the show yesterday, listened on the podcast networks, I am trying to sell the Boston Bruins. No, I'm not the owner, unfortunately, but I'm trying to bet against them. And Patrice Bergeron, he was listed out still. Brad Marchand obviously still has his suspension. So those key guys are out. But how much does the delay and how much does the layoff really affect this Rangers team? And the way I really look at it is that it affects the teams like the San Jose Sharks last night that already aren't an elite team. But a team like the Rangers that have pretty good defense, a great goaltender, and I'd say pretty dangerous top 4 or 5 players in their team, I don't think it affects them as much as it might affect some other players. Is this a decent spot for the Bruins to get their act together? Maybe. But I'd still be siding here with the New York Rangers. I think that they're going to get it done. I think they're too talent-filled, and their goaltender will shut the Bruins down. What are your thoughts here, Carm?
Yeah, you mentioned the obviously the break for the Rangers, and we saw it, and I talked about it on yesterday's show about San Jose, albeit coming from an East Coast trip and having 11 or 12 days off, and they looked, at least in that first period or so, and part of the second, their passes were off. They looked sloppy, and the Oilers made them pay on a couple of occasions. As far as this goes, like this Bruins team had made such a good push. They had a ton of games to make up. They made a good push. They were winning games at a high clip. And at some point, a little bit of regression has to come in. and maybe it came in with the injuries to some of the players. But you look at them; they're 3-5 their last 8. Those 3 wins are over Ottawa, Seattle, and Arizona, and they weren't big wins. 2-0 win against Ottawa, 3-2 win against Seattle, and a 2-1 win against Arizona. Not convincing wins. And then their losses, they haven't been scoring. No goals against Carolina, 2 goals against Pittsburgh, and a goal against Dallas. They're having trouble scoring. And of course, the Bergeron being injured, Marchand being suspended has a lot to do with it. And now you're going to New York to face a team that likely will have Shesterkin in net, and he's been lights out this season. He's a very good goalie. The only thing that doesn't have, or that is keeping me from laying the 150 or 160 that the Rangers will be, is their break of 12 days off or so. I'm going to lean to the under here. I think that the Bruins struggling to score and catching a Rangers team that might be a little loose early, but will tighten up as that game goes on. I just don't see a ton of goals in this game, so I'm going to go under 5.5 here.
That's a great play. I really like that one, Karma. I'll probably tail you on that one, actually. I think the Rangers will win the game, but I think it'll be in low-scoring fashion. And just taking a look real quick, Karma, I decided I didn't have it pulled up, but I wanted to pull it up here and take a look at the line combinations for the Boston Bruins right now. And it's not pretty. I mean, we don't try and exaggerate too much on this show, but you take two key players out of any team and it makes a difference. But you take those 2 key guys out of the Boston Bruins and it makes a world of a difference. And you can just see it with the way their lineup is shaping up and how much pressure is on those secondary guys to really step up and play some better hockey. Because if I was a prop bettor tonight on the Boston Bruins, I'd be scratching my head. I'd be asking myself, who am I taking? Unfortunately, David Pastrnak can't score 4 goals for them in one game. They're going to need the guys like Taylor Hall, Charlie Coyle, Eric Haula, those guys to step up because, Pastrnak is so good when he has Bergeron and Marchand to help, make that ice a little bit more open for him. But you already know it's going to be like it's going to be like when Ronaldo's out there in soccer, or when LeBron James is out there in basketball. It's going to be like every single person is going to have their eyes on one player, and that's what's going to be like tonight with David Pastrnak. I mean, who would you think? I mean, if I gave you a goal scoring prop tonight, who are you taking? Because I don't know. I couldn't give you one. Maybe Taylor Hall. But I think the Bruins are in trouble here with their depth problem.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you, Andrew. And I think someone posted in the chat talking about like maybe another way to go with the game is the first period under. I prefer to go the full game under just because of the fact that we saw it yesterday in the San Jose game. They looked a little discombobulated, to say the least, in that first period. So, my thinking is you could always see goals in the first period and the game still stays under the total. The over-under for the first period is obviously it's 1.5, but the juice is literally a coin flip, -110 both ways. That tells you how they're looking at this game. I just don't know what we see from the Rangers right out of the gate. San Jose did get stronger as that game went on, couldn't score, but they didn't look good defensively in that first period against the Oilers. So that's why I'm a little worried about first period totals when a team hasn't played in 11 or 12 days. I'm not a fitness coach, and I don't profess to be one. So I'm just going to say I think the Rangers get better as this game goes on, and maybe I'll live bet it. Who knows? If the Bruins get ahead in that first period, I will live bet the Rangers because that -150 will become a plus price if they go down a goal to the Bruins in that first period. And I just think the Rangers will get stronger as the game goes on.
I agree with that. The first period's always the toughest period for the teams coming off that layoff. Our next game up, well, we have a team that is just purely dominating right now. We've got the Colorado Avalanche. They're -265 against the Dallas Stars. These teams just recently played, and the Colorado Avalanche won that game 4-0 just a few short days ago. Now we got the Stars plus 215 here, Carm. Totals at 6 in this one. I can't even remember the last time this Avalanche team won. Lost a game that wasn't in regulation. I mean, they are purely dominating teams right now. They're putting up numbers. They're playing well defensively. And I've actually heard some rumblings that they might be targeting Marc-Andre Fleury. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But this team means business. I know that you have futures on them. I think a lot of us really think they're going to have a great run this year in the playoffs. How do we bet this game, though, at the price of minus 265? And is there any type of angle you look for when two teams play in such short period of time?
Well, normally, Andrew, as you know, and as far as like the futures go, I do have the Avs to win the President's Trophy. It's looking decent so far. They're having a very good season. And you look at them at home, I think they're 21-2-2 at home. They just don't lose games at home very often. And, when the back-to-backs, I always talk about if it's two very good teams, I like to take the team that lost the first game to win the second. I just can't do that. I can't make a case for betting against the Avalanche at home. It's a losing proposition if you're trying to beat this team at home. Even though they are big favorites most of the time. This is Dallas's first game on the road after a 6-game homestand where they win 3-3. That last road trip was a good one. It was a profitable one for me. They win 4-0 on that trip, but they didn't face a team anything close to what this Avalanche team is on their worst of nights. It's a bad one for them. I just don't see it. You look at these 3 games, and I know right now it's projected that it's going to be Ottinger and net. I think the better thing for the Dallas Stars to do is put Holtby back in goal. He played in that 4-0 loss on Sunday to them. The reason being, this is a 3-game Western road trip for Dallas, a Dallas team that needs points, and you're likely to get it when you're playing your next 2 games, which are against the Chicago Blackhawks and the Arizona Coyotes. Those are the wins you should be keen on. Those are the games you should be keen on. I'm not saying they're mailing it in tonight against Colorado, but if you're looking to win games with your best goalie in net, it's against Chicago. It is against Arizona. It's likely not going to be against the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. With that said, obviously I'm taking the Avs here. I'll take the Avs in regulation time as well, Andrew.
All right. Hard to argue with that, with the way they're playing right now. I'm going to stay away from the side in this matchup, and this time around, I'm just going to go over the total. A lot of the times, my strategy when I'm looking at two teams that are playing for the second time in just a couple days, typically whatever the first total came out to be, I try and make an argument for taking the other side, the other total, I guess. So we saw the last meeting slide under the total, but it was because of pure dominance by the Avalanche, like I mentioned at the top. 4-0 win for them. We've actually seen plenty of Dallas Stars games go over the total for the last 5 games, actually, to be exact. And they're putting up some numbers themselves. And when you look at some of the goals they're allowing as well, it's not pretty. A lot of teams are scoring on them. And I don't really expect that to change tonight when they meet Colorado again here. So I feel like we can get over this total of 6. I feel like there are some 6.5s popping up. So I do recommend Avalanche Stars over 6. These two teams just recently played. I think we can get over 6 here in this one. We have one more game to get into and then best bets at the end of this show. And that is the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings going head to head here, Carm. The LA Kings, they're minus 120 at home at crypto.com arena. The Oilers plus 100, totals at 6.5 in this one. And we talked about the Rangers not playing for a while, Carm. Well, hey, the Kings haven't played for a little while either. The Oilers are on a second half of their back-to-back off a really great game. What are your thoughts here on this one?
Yeah, someone mentioned, I think yesterday, that it was going to be a bad spot for the Edmonton Oilers tonight in the second of back-to-back. I think the exact opposite. I think the coaching change has helped this Edmonton team. They're playing better the last couple of games against the Islanders and And the game last night against San Jose, getting the shutout, was a good one for them. It was Stuart Skinner in net last night, and it's going to be apparently it's going to be Mike Smith tonight, although that's not confirmed. I would come back. I'll be honest with you. I'd come right back with Skinner. He earned the shutout last night. You're playing a Kings team that hasn't played in 13 games, in 13 days almost. Here, I guess at the 15. So that's 12 days since their last game. It's another good spot for the Oilers, a team that's playing well. I don't think they expended as much energy as anyone would have thought in the first game of a back-to-back against. I think that it was an easier game for them than that final score line of 3-0 shows. I think this is a good spot for them to come back at even money and get another win here in LA. You look at these, and my thing is always going to be, Andrew. It's just I'm going to sound like a broken record with these goalies, but they brought up Skinner. Smith went to his coach, and that was the last game before he was fired, and said, "I want back in." And they switched. Skinner was named in that game as a starting goalie, and then Smith came in, gave up 2 quick ones in the first 2.5 minutes of that game, and the Oilers were on their way to defeat in that game. That one was against Chicago. Coach gets fired. Skinner gets named in this game. Yesterday's game starts. I think you got to come right back with him. I get it that Smith is likely your number one, but I don't think he's going to be the number one come the trade deadline. I think the Oilers got to make a deal to get a goalie in there. But I say you go with the hot hand. The guy had a shutout last night. Bring him right back tonight. If it's Smith in net, I'm not going to like this play as much. I'll tell you that much. But I think the Oilers get the win here against this LA Kings team that hasn't played in 12 days.
Carm, I just want to apologize if you could hear my dog barking there in the background. I guess he likes the underdog as well. He never really bets favorites, just purely
dogs
a dog
are barking.
better. So apologies for that, guys. I'm not really sure what's going on out there outside the office, but I'm right there with Carm. I think that the back-to-back does not matter to me. I've told you guys that I won't shy away from taking a team when they're playing their second game in as many nights. And I think, if anything, the Oilers will build off the momentum they got after yesterday's really solid performance. And the Kings are a pretty good defensive team. And when you don't play for that many days, as we talked about, it hurts a team. And we've seen it countless times, not just because we're not talking just 2 or 3 days rest. We're talking like over a week rest. And that's a long time for professional athletes to just kind of sit around or have practice. And as we always say, you cannot replicate gameplay in practice. It's just something that can't be done. It's just not the same. All right, Carm, that's it for the show here. Those are the 4 games. Great breakdowns today. 4 good games we talked about, I believe. And I got some best bets. So I'll start with you. Remind folks at home what you have up for grabs and what your best bet is here.
Yeah, 3 NHL plays that will be posted after the show. We'll see if we can spin out another 3-0 day for our clients. Champions League is up. I actually have a deal over on my page at WagerTalk. Champions League and Europa League competitions, the knockout stages start now. You can get every single play right through to the finals for both competitions that happen in May. So from today straight through to May, every single Champions League, Europa League play. And if you purchase that package, I will toss in 7 days of NHL absolutely free. So it's a pretty good deal you'll find on my Cappers page. As far as my best bet goes, I'm going right back to this last game, the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not worried about the back-to-back here. Obviously, it's a short trip. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from San Jose to LA flight time. I'm not worried about this. The only thing that really worries me is the goalies. I hope it's Skinner and net, but if it's not, we'll have to make do with Smith. The coaching changes helping this team. They're going to start to string some wins together as we expected before that short little losing skid from them. Take the Edmonton Oilers even money tonight as your show best bet.
All right, show best bet. Oilers on the money line plus 100 for Carm. Make sure you guys check out his page for that great deal. You can get some European football, or as we call it in North America, soccer action, plus throw in some NHL stuff for 7 days. So great stuff there from Carm. Looking at 3 plays for tonight on the ice. Look, guys, I wish I could give a better price for my best bet. I really do. But I'll even putting your money where your mouth is. And yesterday on the buy and sell segment, I said we are selling the Boston Bruins. So I think it's only right if my first best bet when the Boston Bruins are playing again is fading the Boston Bruins. Give me the New York Rangers on the money line here. Despite the long layoff for them, I don't care in this instance. They have more depth, better defense, and better goaltending. I'm willing to step up and fade this Bruins team here, guys. Sides, totals, props, big night tonight in the NHL. Check me out over at wagertalk.com. #1 at the website. Having a great season. We'll try and build off that tonight. On behalf of Carmine Bianco, I'm Andrew McInnis. Best bets, Rangers and the Oilers. We will see you guys tomorrow right here on WagerTalk TV.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at wagertalk.com and sportsmemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.